Welcome viewers once again. So, in the last class we have discussed about some of the practices, some of the techniques, strategies of reflective practices. Now, one more strategy is that self awareness, how to develop self awareness, because you know self awareness, increasing self awareness helps us in enhancing our effectiveness. Because in any profession, does not matter what type of profession it is, in any profession and also in teaching also, efficiency and effectiveness. Efficiency, you know, efficiency in terms of our self efficacy, in terms of our capabilities, in terms of our confidence, all these are in our efficiency, but again it must have positive impact on others. So, how to enhance our personal effectiveness, how to enhance our professional effectiveness. So, increasing self awareness also enhances significantly enhances our individual or personal effectiveness. So, it is such a tool. It is widely being used by the organizational practitioners like self awareness, that is the Joe and Johari window. Actually, Joe and Harry, two persons were there. So, they have developed this tool for mapping, for knowing our own things, like for how much that means for increasing our self awareness and how much others they know about us, and how much you know secrets or hidden things are there within us. So, it is a tool for knowing our informations, like how much do we know and how much do others know. So, self awareness in this Johari window model, there are actually, as you can see, there are 4 cells. Open, blind, hidden and unknown. So, the one part is that it is whether it is known to me, known to self or unknown to self. Similarly, other part is that whether it is known to others or unknown to others. So, in our day to day life also, some of the informations are are very open, everybody knows it, that you are a student, you are a professional, you are this and that, your name is that, your hometown is this and you are coming from that, this and that. This is the open, it's open domain. Okay. But sometimes what happens, some blind areas are there, like we are not aware of, it is unknown to us, but it is known to others. We are not aware of that we are possessing these things, or we are behaving in a very peculiar way, etc. So, some of the blind areas are there which are unknown to self, but known to others. And again some of the hidden areas are there, like it is known to us but not known to others, like our personal secrets. We do not want to share how secretive you are, or how much you want to keep the information to yourself, do not want to share with others, etc. And some of the unknown things, it is neither known to us nor known to others. So, in this context, open area is our public domain. It can be increased with more feedback, togetherness and sharing. Our open area, like how the information the people they know about you, it can be increased with sharing more information, more knowledge, giving the feedback, getting the feedback, etc. We can also increase the open area and open domain. Blind area is that you are unaware of and can be reduced by asking the question for more transparent feedback. Blind area, because we are not aware of it, we do not know how we are reacting, how we are responding, how we are teaching, how we are performing. We do not have the clear cut idea about or clarity about our own performance. So, in that situation we can seek the feedback from our colleagues, from our students, from our peers, from our seniors, etc. So, we can, so here another thing is that we are if we are unaware of the blind area, how to reduce this blind area by seeking for the more feedback. How to again increase the open area, how to reduce the blind area, that means by seeking more transparent feedback. Then hidden area is that again personal secrets which can be reduced to some extent with more self disclosure. The more and more you disclose about yourself, your past experiences, your personal traumas, your personal bitterness, your personal tragedy, your personal happiness, or some of the good events and the bad events, or the good experiences and the bad experiences, if you want to share it, to disclose it. So, with the more self disclosure, this hidden area also reduces. the more the less close you will be, like the more close you will be. No, you don't want to share your things, though you are not very open minded, you are not very very much self disclosing kind of person, then the hidden area remains there. So when the self disclosure is not there, when this hidden area is very large and you don't want to share with others, so people will think that, oh, he is a very secretive person, they cannot, so because they are not being able to predict your behavior, they are not being able to know you better, they are not being able to understand you better, so they will not come to you for seeking any help or for asking any questions. They will not be very informal, very familiar with you, so it also hinders in the interpersonal relationship. So in order to improve your own effectiveness, personal effectiveness, you have to be more open minded in not only seeking the feedback and information from others, but to be more open in terms of sharing your information and experiences with others. So hidden area, that is personal secrets, it can be reduced to some extent by more self disclosure. Then unknown area is, it is in our subconscious or is something like that, like we are not ourselves aware of it, neither others are also aware of it. So only the thing is that sometimes when we talk about when we are actively engaged in reflect thinking or imagination or daydreaming or in any kind of creative thinking, etc., all of a sudden some intuitive thoughts comes to our mind, some intuition comes to our mind. So from there again we start actively thinking, oh, maybe that it is a possible solution, maybe that I should pursue this one, etc. So maybe sometimes we may discover some of the unknown area through our intuitions, imagination and creative thinking, but it primarily remains unknown to others or as well as us. So in order to improve effectively our impact on others, our interpersonal relationship or our effectiveness, then we have to actively be engaged in these four domains, like how to increase our openness, open mindedness, seeking feedback, open area, how to close or reduce our blind areas by seeking more voluntary feedbacks, then how to again how to reduce our blind hidden area, in the sense that by sharing more information with others for building trust, for establishing the healthy interpersonal relationship, etc., and for knowing the unknown is from imagination, creative thinking, intuitive thinking. Another thing is that also tool is a SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis, it's a very normal practice, everybody does it, every individual, every organization does it. SWOT analysis for any kind of work. So we can do the strength analysis of strength, weakness, opportunities and threats. So whenever we are engaged in reflective practice, it can be enhanced through self observation. Every now and then we can do SWOT analysis on ourselves. Like for example, this lesson I have taught, this work I have completed, this assignment I have completed. Now let me analyze it. Let me reflect upon it. What are its positive strengths? What are its strengths? Like these are the positive points of this assignment, this task, etc. Then what are the weaknesses? What are the weaknesses? What are the cons, and what are the loopholes, or what are the still the shortcomings of this thing, etc. Then again, what are the opportunities, more opportunities available in that field? Yes, this research work, this piece of work can be carried forward, can be enhanced, can be increased in future by adding these dimensions, these components. So what are the possible opportunities available? What are the future opportunities? And again, at the same time, what are the threats? So in every profession, in every job, in every workplace, etc., there are some threats, there are some hazards that you can say. Often we can say these are the professional hazards, professional risk, threats. Maybe the threat of competition, maybe the threat of life threatening. There may be like journalism, every profession, take be it journalism, be it medical professional, be it defense personnel, be it being in teaching, be it in the management, be it in the organizational productivity or manufacturing. So every job has some of the threats or the risks or the hazards are there. So we have to clearly evaluate all these things. What are the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and the threats. Like our focus would be how to strengthen our positivity or strengths, how to overcome the weaknesses, by improving our competencies, skills, improving our capabilities through rigorous training, etc., etc. And again, how to leverage the opportunities, what are the opportunities available, how to capture it, how to leverage it, how to leverage the opportunities, utilize it for our benefits, and again how to be prepared to face the threats or the future disasters or any kind of problem in future. So, how to again also preparedness for overcoming not only the immediate threats or the hazards, but the future threats. So, that how can we mitigate that those threats by the new solution, new tools, new technology, etc. So, SWOT analysis can be done by anybody. Very often we should be engaged in asking different questions. Communication, so it's not interpersonal communication, group communication or mass communication or employer communication, etc., but it's intrapersonal communication. All the time we should communicate to our individual self by asking the questions to ourselves, like maybe it is related to our teaching episode, teaching class, maybe it is related to how we have performed. So, maybe it is related to the students, maybe it is related to the content, maybe it is related to the administration, classroom management, whatever. We need to ask these many questions to ourselves every now and then for improving our performance. Team working. So, team working, again it is a communities of practice. Team working is another component, significant component of reflective practice, like co-teaching. Co-teaching is mentoring and sharing, like in the school section only we have the pre-service training programs for the prospective teachers, but in the higher education, in the college education, in university education, we do not have this kind of preparatory training or pre-service training. So, here what happens, like once you land up in the job, land up in the profession itself, then you will be assigned to some mentors, mentors, coaches, etc. So, who will be guiding you, who will be grooming some of the skills among you. So, co-teaching, so mentoring and sharing of the ideas. So, usually what happens, the mentors, they used to coach the freshers, the youngsters through mentoring, through sharing their ideas, by giving them the opportunity to experience certain things, and to give them, by giving them some assignments, by giving them some on the job training. Okay, and some by giving them some kind of exposure, like managing the classroom activities, managing the co-curricular activities, and maybe that sometimes playing the role of a role playing also, or framing and reframing the existing practices. Like suppose they will give you an opportunity to redesign the whole school environment, the school plan, redesigning the college or educational institution plan. So, they will ask you or seek you your suggestions, your creative ideas, etc. So, in this way co-teaching, the mentor and mentee, the mentor and protees, the mentor and the freshers, the beginning teachers, young teachers. So, that co-teaching helps a lot in enhancing our skills, competencies, and the practices. Second comes your metacognition, like as we have already discussed, that we need to ask many questions to ourselves. So, metacognition is knowing about your own learning process, knowing about your own cognitive ability, learning about your own cognitive processes. So, we can often engage ourselves in metacognition, asking questions to ourselves, like what is the purpose of this teaching session, how does what we do today link to the last week, for what kind of what kind of job, what kind of teaching practice, what kind of practical experience we are sharing. We need to ask many questions. Like suppose I have taught a lesson on maybe on the learning difficulty, or maybe on the nowadays defense psychology or sports psychology or any kind of component. So, we need to test, we need to assure ourselves what is the relevance of this subject, why I am teaching, or even if suppose as a student, as a learner I am taking up this subject, what does it mean to me, why I am taking this course, why I am what I am going to gain out of it, what are my expectations, how it is going to enhance the meaning of my life, or how it is going to give me immense satisfaction. So, we need to ask. So, these kind of questions, posing this kind of question to ourselves, thinking actively, this is called the metacognition. So, why are asking all these how, know what's is not just know what's, know why's, know how's, know when, know where, all kinds of questions. Then team working, there is collaborative practitioner inquiry. Again, when you become a member of the collaborative team, and as a collaborative practitioner, we also inquire many we also ask many questions. We have the inquiry about the different things. So teachers with more reflective and discursive identities would seek to collaborate with the learners and the colleagues, look for the ways forward in professional guidance. Like, even though you are a teacher, very often we discuss the same topic, same issue, or some lecture, some seminar topic, some issue with our colleagues, with our students, to know about their perspective, their views, and to think about their benefits, their uses, or how it is going to affect them. So we also sometimes voluntarily discuss with our peers, with our seniors, with our colleagues, with our students, and even the common man, the other stakeholders, common man, to get their views, and look for the ways forward in professional guidance and engage themselves in academic research. Because often what happens, we also in this process we come to know about some of the issues and perspectives which we might not have thought before, and now it has given us an input for academic research, active academic research. So it can also give us a resource for the academic research and systematic inquiry, and offer the solution for more criticism and adaptation by others. So that also instigates, stimulates our thinking for taking up the new research, for taking up the new issues, for taking up and to engage ourselves in a systematic inquiry for seeking more further solutions. And also sometimes we also intentionally pose certain questions to seek the to receive the criticism, because the more and more it will be criticized, you can think of its multiple solutions, or you can say how to make it more crisis proof, or laser proof security, or security proof, or how to make it more more strengthened, more strong, more accident proof, or more risk free, etc. So often we intentionally also invite the criticism, because when we receive the criticism, it also instigates, stimulates our thinking process to think for the solution from different dimensions, from different perspectives. So teamwork, as we know, collaborative research inquiry, teamwork is the significant tools and techniques for the reflective practice. And action research, as we have already discussed, action research is a very good, very helpful component tool for the teacher, especially systematic inquiry, designed to produce the practical results to improve any kind of teaching learning issues and the problems that we instantly face in the classroom situations. There are some specific steps. As you know, for first you take up the issue, the select. First is the select, that which issue, which episode, which challenge you are taking up, which is the new then for which you are seeking the new strategy. Then describe that component with asking many questions: who, what, when, where, all kinds of questions. Then analyze its components, sub components, like why it happened, how did it happen, all kinds of things. Then interpret it, self appraise it, interpret it, what was the interpret or appraise, ask the questions like what was the impact on the students, what were the implications for the professors. It's multiple implications for different stakeholders. You analyze it, you appraise, interpret, then you transform, apply your collective insights to your own teaching. By getting the information from different sources, you assemble it, you resynthesize it, you reframe it in a very creative and constructive way, then you try to transform it into your practice. Similarly, another approach is the problem solving approach. Problem solving approach is steps that pose the problem. First is that you identify the problem. You identify the problem. You have to be very selective, very clear about what is the problem actually. What is the why this problem is it poses very important is very important for me. How I need to resolve it, etc. So pose the problem, then propose the method, then collect the various information from different sources to find out its causal factor. What are the main causes, major causes. Then you propose a method. That means you formulate after collecting the information, you formulate different strategies, hypotheses, etc. So you propose a method how to that by chalking out an action plan, designing timeline, then formulate the hypothesis, the strategies, etc. Then you actually apply it in the situation, experiment on it, apply it for seeking a solution. Then you find a solution. Yes, now yes, I have got the solution, but you may also carry forward it for seeking the another for testing the another hypothesis, another strategy to verify the new solution, and maybe that after getting the fourth solution you can find out what is the cost effectiveness, which one is the best one. So you look back, verify, evaluate it again. Now when you are convinced, now it's okay, this is the best one, then you make it a practice, then you implement in your practice. Now here we can see YouTube video in this context.
What is reflective practice? Reflective practice is a process by which you stop and think about your practice, consciously analyze your decision making, and draw on theories and relate it to what you do in practice. Critical analysis and evaluation refocuses your thinking on your existing knowledge and helps generate new ideas and new knowledge. We are going to take a look at Donald Schoen, a philosopher and professor who developed the concept of reflective practices. He is a contributor to the theory of organizational learning and also known as the great theorist of the Learning Society. In the early 1980s, he suggested that the capacity to reflect on action is to engage in a process of continuous learning, one of the most defining characteristics of professional practice. He argued that the model of professional training, which he termed technical rationality, of charging students up with knowledge in schools so that they could discharge when they entered the world of practice. This is also known as a battery model. His book, The Reflective Practitioner, introduced concepts such as reflection on action and reflection in action, which explain how professionals meet the challenges of their work. Reflection in action can be described as the ability of a practitioner to think on his or her feet. Within any given moment, when faced with a professional issue, a practitioner usually connects with their feelings, emotions, and prior experiences to attend to the situation directly. Reflection on action is the idea that after the experience, a practitioner analyzes their reaction to the situation and explores the reasons around and the consequences. However, this notion goes beyond just looking back on experiences and exploring the reasoning behind actions. Rather, it brings into action notions of responding to problematic situations, problem framing, problem solving, and the priority of practical knowledge over abstract theory. There are concerns with this thinking behind the idea of reflective practice, and individuals have challenged this theory, asking themselves whether reflection really explains how it is that people learn professionally. Will reflective practice make a better teacher, worker, lecturer, or even athlete? If a teacher leaves the classroom every day and reflects on their learning, will this result in better in-depth understanding about their lecturing? It may help you understand yourself and reflect on your own development, but does it really help in improving on your own lecturing or support your students? Reflecting with others in a professional circle may help you better yourself or your future lecturing skills through social interactions and conversations with others reflecting with you. Now, let's ask ourselves, how do people reflect at their best? Is it through personal reflective conversations with yourself or in group discussions with others? How can people learn from reflection? Does reflection improve your practices? Let's further investigate and reflect with one another on what makes a good reflective practitioner.
Now we have to conclude this lesson, how to summarize it by making a comprehensive set of practices, to make our own professional practices very useful, very effective, very authentic through reflective practice, and engage ourselves in professional development. So the thing is that knowledge and social construction. So knowledge is primarily constructed by the individuals through the use of language and other symbolic and cultured system. So how we as the professionals would engage ourselves in not only various practices, various adopting various strategies and engaging ourselves in different kinds of learning situation. So, again knowledge, again how the knowledge is being created, knowledge is being generated. As we have already learned the constructivism, they say that every learner creates or constructs and reconstructs his own knowledge. Now, in the 21st century, the new pedagogy is that create knowledge, identify and create the best knowledge, new knowledge, and share it with others. So, create the knowledge and share it with others. The individual himself can create the knowledge, the group as a whole can create the knowledge. So, here the different dimensions of knowledge are creations, knowledge being individually created and knowledge as a result of the social constructivism, because knowledge also being created, knowledge learning takes place in the social context also. So, here Bruner has given the different dimensions of knowledge creations or knowledge as a part of social construction, like individual versus socio-cultural group construction. When as an individual learner, I go through the material, search for the material, analyze it, critically evaluate it, and rethink and redesign and create the new designs, etc. So, individually I am creating the knowledge, but at the same time when we are learning together in the group context, in the socio cultural context, again knowledge is being created. Similarly, active construction versus the passive construction. So, active knowledge is being created as a part of the active construction of knowledge, like the knowledge as the agents of knowledge. When we are engaged in active participation, learning by doing, active engagement, so knowledge is being constructed. Again, sometimes when we passively listen to the lectures and as spectators, we just passively listen it, we observe it, but again we reflect upon it and we intuitively we think in a new way, we interpret it in a new way. So, in that way, being a passive spectator also, knowledge is being created. So, knowledge discovered by reality instruction of nature versus knowledge is being invented by the creators, like knowledge which is there inherent in the nature, which were not earlier noticed by others, now it is being discovered, but knowledge is being discovered as well as knowledge is being created by the innovators, by the human beings through inventions, etc. So, knowledge has different dimensions and it takes place both individually as well as in the social context. Again, language and dialogue. Language and the dialogue are are another tool of another necessary condition of gaining knowledge, sharing the knowledge, acquiring knowledge, etc. So, we have to engage ourselves in language and continuous dialogue. Dialogue is necessary condition for language and it describes the nature of language in which knowledge is shared and developed. So, either whether you are sharing it through international language, your mother tongue, your local language, your colloquial language, in which language we are engaged in sharing the knowledge. So, dialogue is very much necessary, it is an important component of knowledge sharing, knowledge construction, and language, which language we are using for sharing our knowledge. Then the conception of teachings are there. There are different kinds of teaching, like teaching has the different components, as we have already discussed in comparison the traditional pedagogy and the 21st century pedagogy. There are a lot of differences, but however, when we conceptualize the teaching, it has the different categories, like knowledge as being transmitted. So, here the teacher is focused, knowledge as being transmitted from one source to another source. So, students learn here in transmission mode, the teacher is very much focused and students learning is passive, they are compliant and they are passive recipients, they accept whatever the teacher says, etc., and transmission through monologue. Teacher delivers the lecture and they listen to the lecture. So, it is a monologue kind of thing, and focus but here focus of good teaching is on quantity, quality, structure and transmission of content, because in this traditional method of teacher focused classroom lecture method of teaching. So, the listeners are listeners are the passive recipients, they listen to, they and like in our old age, in the Vedic age, in the traditional Gurukul ashram system, etc., the disciples are there, they are listening to the gurus whatever they are reciting, and they are practicing in drilling it, remembering it, all kinds of things. So, here the focus is transmission of the content, whatever it is there in terms of the volume, in terms of its quantity, structure and quantity, etc., quality, etc., to be transmitted from one generation to another generation, from the teachers to the students. So, it is more teacher focused and the good teaching is more on delivering the quantitative and qualitative structure and transmission of the content. The next is kind of acquisition that is, it is more focused, that students acquire, how to acquire the knowledge. Earlier it was transmission of knowledge, now here the acquisition of knowledge. It is more focused. In this context of teaching, students learning is compliant, active acquisition of the course concepts, skills development and teachers concerned being taught through explanation. So, the teachers, they used to explain it, narrate it, demonstrate it, even though active monologue is there, but it gradually move towards the dialogue, discussion, and focus of good teaching on the is a set of strategic tips, development of strategies and tips that help the students to acquire the course content and concepts. Here, even though that means the teacher adopts different methods and techniques to make the students more focused on acquisition of more and more knowledge, more relevant content, and gives him some of the strategies and the tips to explore the resources, etc., and to acquire knowledge and to self study, and to improve their knowledge and develop the good study habits. Then comes your engagement. Then here the focus is not just acquisition of knowledge, but learning. It's the curiosity, the eagerness for learning. We want, that means now here the focus is on to learn how to learn. Similarly, it's engagement. Teachers are supposed to make the students learn about how to learn effectively. It is not just learning through remembering or drilling or practicing, etc., but learning how to learn effectively. So, that is why here your more kind of engagement, teacher student engagements are there, and learning is focused, how to learn strategically, effectively, sustainably, etc. So, students learning and the conceptual development through active reflective construction. Here again we are emphasizing on constructivism, constructive learning. The student not only listens to, learns to, but also thinks, analyzes, reflects upon it, sometimes unlearn certain things, relearn it, then add something new, construct and reconstruct and create something new, add to the knowledge repository. So, in this way it is a reflective construction of knowledge. Then teaching through facilitation, teachers, here the teacher's role has become the facilitator. Then intersubjective active dialogue, it is not just the domain, within the domain, but intersubjective, interdisciplinary, intradisciplinary subjective knowledge creation through active dialogue, conversation or discourse, and the focus of good teaching is on developing the ways to help the students to improve and change their conceptual understanding. It's about focusing more on innovating the creative ideas to create the new things, new domain of knowledge. Then now the 21st century pedagogy says that is talk about the new pedagogy, new pedagogy, where by using the by using the ICT tools, by using the multiple skills, how can you create construct the new knowledge. So, tools are there, techniques are there, you need to develop this different skills, and you, by using all these tools, techniques and the skills, etc., how can you create new learning, new knowledge, and you share it with others. So, the new pedagogy says about identifying and creating the new knowledge, sharing the knowledge with others, then collective capacity building, deep learning, with the larger goal of not only the benefit of our own students, of our own society, but the whole world as a whole. So, it is the global welfare, it is the global awareness, enhancing the global capacities, the global capacity. That is why you might have heard about some of the companies, IT companies like Microsoft, Google, etc. They have given so many materials, so many learning materials, so many things open source, in the open platform, so that anybody can have access to it, anybody can use it, anybody can utilize it for not only sharing the knowledge. With this sharing of knowledge and experience, we also create the new knowledge. So, our global aim is to how to take up our world to the new sphere, new level only. It is not just about our country, your country, this country, that country, but about to take up our world together, jointly, in a very positive way, very constructive way, to the next level, to the level of almighty, or self adulations, or you can say the highest level of transcendental, you can say transcendental level we can talk about. So, So, here again moreover, as we have already discussed, teaching and research interface are also very much important, because research gives us the input, and teaching actually experiments its effectiveness, whatever it is from whatever finding we get from the research analysis, experimentations, then we apply it. So, teaching is the platform for validating, experimenting its efficacy, but again research is for exploring the new issues, and again verifying its or innovating the new pedagogy. So, teaching and research are inseparable. Research confers the authority and status to the text. Actually research actually takes the precedence in academics, and research not only in academics, but in any kind of technical science, scientific jobs, etc. So, even if it is a manufacturing sector or organizational sector or teaching institution or whatever, research actually precedes the practices actually, because research always updates you, gives you innovative thoughts and ideas, and to practice it, to improve it. So, research not only not in teaching, but that provides the key to identify to the identity of an academic personnel. Hence, it impels faculty to feel free. It is feel primary obligation less towards students and more towards protecting and advancing the discipline. So, when we compare our duties and responsibility towards our students, towards our stakeholders, towards the community, as well as the research. So, our first priority should go to the academic community, that is to enrich our discipline, to enrich our subject, to enrich our domain knowledge. There comes it comes first, and thereafter whatever we gain out of it, then we are going to use it for our stakeholders, for our practices. Similarly, academic dialogue, when we are engaged in the academic dialogue, like in different kinds of engaged in different kinds of discussion in academia, industry discussion, or seminar conferences, or when we become a part of any kind of action research, or conversation, any kind of critical analysis, etc. So, academic dialogue also, it is an important tool. So, it is an important tool to practices to adopt it. So, these are some of the points, like equity and opportunity takes place. So, academic dialogue is again another important tool, so which we can adopt in our professional practice. Like the principles are like the scholarship and research in teaching. We must incorporate highest level of scholarship, academic scholarship, then professional excellence, and high quality, high level of research also in our teaching, and we must actively academically engage with all stakeholders, etc. We must participate in different kinds of workshops, conferences, and any discussions on the education policy matters and administrative issues, etc. So, equity and opportunities also, like participation in kind of different kinds of forums, in different kinds of platforms for educational policy decision making, for equality, for for creating the more learning opportunities, equality, quality, all kinds of issues are also very relevant for us. And again, we must identify each and every learner's unique abilities, potentialities, as well as his weaknesses also, and we have to cater to their needs also. So, we have to address the diverse community, diverse stakeholders, diverse students, diverse audience, and to identify their diversity, the range of their diversity, their needs, requirements, and also cater to their needs, and by creating the personalized learning experiences. So, personalized learning experiences by giving them the diverse diverse resources, materials, as well as the adapting different practices. Similarly, reflection and improvement, because reflection, reflective thinking, reflective practice, metacognitive thoughts, professional development, continuous learning problem, it is all ongoing. It is an ongoing, interrelated, integrated part of the whole learning cycle. So, with the continuous critical evaluation and innovative practice, we can improve our reflective practice, professional development, and competences and the capabilities of not only being a very good teacher, effective practitioner, etc., but a very good educational leader as well, because ultimately our goal, every teacher need to develop the capabilities, the competencies and the attitude. Again, moreover, the attitude is also very important, right attitude, positive attitude, behavior, all these things, because ultimately our goal is to become an effective educational leader, because so that he can bring, or all the teachers, those who will become the educational leaders, can totally transform our educational system. When we compare our education system to other countries' educational system, like I found that that Finland has a very good education system, at least in the K to 12 level of school education, and now in the in the world global parameter, global ranking, is the Finland's education system is the best one, is the most effective one, because of so many issues, because of the so many things that their teachers are doing, their administrators are doing, so their practitioners are doing. So their education system is the best, and we have to compare our education system with the global global leaders in education, and we have to identify, and we have to take away, we have to learn new things, new positive outcomes from their practices, and we have to incorporate, implement it in our systems, because ultimately our goal of this course, main goal, focus of this course is to how to enrich our education system, how to make it more sustainable and a viable one for the future generation, for the years together to come in. Now here I want to show you a video on this context. Thank you very much, viewers, for patiently listening to this lecture. Now we have completed the second module.